Alright, welcome back everyone. I guess some administrative stuff first. I have been fortunate enough to have been accepted into the MTGO creator program, so that's kind of cool. It'll motivate me to stream more, to provide more content, you want, if you will, to the public. Um, as far as the deck is concerned, as of yesterday night, had not really considered making any changes. I think that I haven't played that much in this past week because it's a combination of family, work, and just like busy with other things. That said, I didn't feel like the deck needed um, to be tweaked much, if at all. Anyways, the one thing I did change was I have this what's called a sideboard optimizer. Essentially, it's using pseudo analytics to evaluate cards, and essentially what I do is I have a formula, I allocate cards scores of either 0, 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, or 1, and I have that multiplied by the metagame presence of the top tier decks. Long story short, um, long story short, I didn't think Godok T was worth it anymore because its score, quote unquote, came back very low, and as a result, I wanted to go back to the Soulless Jailer that the Brady top eight with, and uh, it- uh, two challenges or 2 weekends ago. I didn't have any problems with Jailer. I just added Godok T because Creative Technique had won the challenge, but I think that might have just been an overreaction on my end. Not to mention that matchup is awful anyway, so maybe we just ignore it, hope we don't pair into it. It's the one matchup I would say that has like some metagame presence that I don't really want to see, and I feel like that matchup is like almost unwinnable. Without reworking our entire deck, right? Like I don't really want to splash white, for instance, for Deafening Silence. If somehow everybody aggregates to that deck, then maybe. The other thing I added was an opposition agent just to shore up some of these green mirrors that I had been running into. I lost to Cloud Post a few times lately, and I don't think we're supposed to lose that matchup. But I didn't play the tightest, admittedly, but again, some extra insurance doesn't hurt. Also, I just don't think we need, or hopefully, I don't think we need the Fair Macabre. I think our deck lines up very well against Reanimator as is. I think one of the reasons to play our deck is we have a decent Reanimator matchup, and if I can skip on, these extra cards for that matchup, then that'd be ideal. To be honest, the sample size for Force of Despair is kind of low. I've been happy with it personally, but it's probably in terms of the black count barely passable for me at least. But there is no other replacement for it in terms of I want to play a fifth or sixth snuff out. It just doesn't exist as far as I know. If I'm wrong, then please let me know. Maybe there's a card out there that does what I want it to do in terms of being close to a snuff out. The obvious thing that people always point out to me is Dismember. I don't think they're the same. I think Dismember has its uses in certain metagames. Sure, yeah, it's funny because one of the things that has kept me from trying other decks is because I just don't want to like pay for a subscription account when my primary goal is already to just like push this deck forward. Um, and I think I'd like to see what I can do when equipped with a full arsenal of cards in the library. Now, I've like built stuff for fun, but like again, that I only can do that so far without a subscription account before I run into the negatives because I'm essentially purchasing cards at a loss, right? Like otherwise, just to rent. I could borrow, but then it's a hassle for whoever I'm borrowing from. I don't want to inconvenience people too much. Uh, on Jobs account, you shouldn't have needed to drain your 401k just to buy one copy of a Scarab Stone for what it's worth. Um, But yeah, hopefully I answered everybody's questions so far. What else was I gonna say? I think without further ado, I guess we'll just jump into it. You can ask more questions if if you remember. It's easier for me to talk, and I'm in a pretty good mood, admittedly, right now. Got some nice work stuff done and stuff from home done, so hence why I'm streaming. Plus, so I had the extra time, right? Now, hopefully, win or lose, I will still be in a decent mood. So this is a mode of 6 already because Cradle is in our hand. We don't have a second land drop. I'm a little bit nervous that if we play against a Wasteland deck, this looks a little problematic. I'm gonna ship this back. This is better, I guess. I don't like to. So our opponent is saying, "Oh, you're the Cradle guy." See, that's the other problem, right? If I play the same deck, everybody knows that, and I get. So you have a little bit of a disadvantage when playing online. Uh, one of these days, I'm just gonna play Delver and just like, collect some free wins that way, some free equity. I used to play a lot of D&T on paper. Uh, those are pre-COVID days, though, for whatever that's worth. Right. So that's the other thing, right? They asked me why do I play this deck. I genuinely believe, and maybe it's just fool's gold. I'm playing the. Excuse me. I genuinely believe I'm playing the best deck in Legacy. Now it doesn't always appear that way on stream because the pilot error, right? But at least when I'm playing off stream, it feels like I'm playing the best deck in Legacy. So we have the turn two natural order. The question is though, are we willing? Well, they have a once upon a time. Interesting. What are the odds that they have a solitude? I got, like that's the one thing I'm afraid of. Like I can go for the turn two Atraxa here and just reload immediately. What are the odds that I? All right, we're just gonna YOLO it. Actually, no. Let's not. Let's just pass because I want to do something else. I thought about it. The problem with that is like then you're left with Atraxa. If they have like Caracas or something, you just auto lose, right? And you still have lethal next turn potentially, depending what they do here. So that's the other reason why I chose to hold back, because if they are on something like this, if they are on something like this, we still have lethal, right? Looks like they're on green. Red, Grow Initiative, maybe? Should be lethal. There's no way they have Solitude, right? Ooh. Thank you for the sub, Dukes. Appreciate it. And let me know if you need me to fill anything else out for you. I guess a safe line is just go for Atraxa there, but I feel like this is like playing way too scared. Alright, we don't really know some kind of stompy shell. The good thing is the way we board is like very similar regardless. I don't even remember if I board in Force of Despair against these decks. It's been a minute since I like played against them. I think I do. I do, yeah. Thank you for the sub, Whiskey God. I appreciate it. Dang, these notifications are pretty lit. Gotta lower the volume a little bit. It's a little too high. I think the thing is like people don't play Cradle, or they don't. It's the reason why it doesn't get a as much love, I guess, is I think either people don't have experience playing these kind of decks because the cost of Cradle is very prohibitive. Also, there's just a echo chamber. I feel that always says a blue deck is the best deck in the format. I just don't think that's always the case. It often is, but I don't think it always is. If that makes sense, what I just said. Endurance doesn't do anything in this matchup. What are we doing here? Yeah, so that's the thing, right? Like people make mistakes playing this deck, or they see other people making mistakes, and then they say, "Oh, it must be bad deck," right? When in reality, I think this deck is actually very difficult to play optimally. So what do we want against them? We saw green, and we saw we didn't see much. Do we keep in the hoof against them? They're probably a Fury deck, so I kind of want the Mortuary to punish them for just keeping reactive draws. Maybe we're just gonna dare them to beat on tracks. And like that's a lot of times that's just my plan. Oops. All right, we did what I don't ever advise, which is 61 cards. So yeah, I think people make a lot of mistakes, or you see, newer pilots making mistakes, and then you think, oh, deck is bad, and then self-fulfilling prophecy, right? The other thing is, I think people label the deck incorrectly. They think this is some kind of toolbox deck when it's not really. See that's the problem, I think, right? Like if you're playing this deck fair, of course it's gonna be bad, right? Like this deck is not supposed to be meant to be fair. Like if you're trying to be fair with this deck, I think you will lose because that's not how the deck is meant to be played. Trinisphere is pretty annoying though. The good thing is we have the counter play to it. I don't get to do this line. I haven't done this line in a long time, but I think it's going to come up right now. Yeah, like the first thing I see is like, and it's a pet peeve of mine. People pick up this deck and they immediately make changes before understanding the deck. They add random things like, Mass Vandal or Outland Liberator. They add more Bowmasters without really understanding what the deck's about. And really, this is a combo deck that's masked as a backup prison deck. And then people add a lot of elements that makes, in my opinion, the deck worse and more inconsistent. It's closer to Cloudpost than it is to Maverick. I'll put it that way. Ugh. This is like the nuts from our opponent here. Just like curving out. They should have done that main phase. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, yeah. So it's really creature combo. If you're not playing it as such, then of course it's gonna look bad, right? I normally I would be happy with this, but I don't know. They just like curved out like crazy here. I don't feel great about our chances, if I'm being honest, but we shall see. I think basic. Well, let's get a fetch. I think the hierarchy is being dumped here. Mm, I might need this. I don't know. Artisan slow here. I can get artisan with green sign anyways. That's why I did what I did. We're gonna probably have to kill the Kiki. I think we can ignore the boo right now. I think what's likely to happen is we just have to live with it if they have another mince. We're gonna take 7 here. They should attack. Hey, Rena to spin Pierce. Like I don't think we're it's not a winning line to block here. If they have it, they have it. Maybe there's another mince here. Like I don't think we're okay. We're just dead. I really prefer not to play against these like all index because it's hard to outplay your opponent, right? It's just like whatever your opening hand is, whatever your opening hand is, and like there's nothing I could have really done there. Like I don't like these matchups even if they're 50-50 because there's little room for like even if the matchup is 50-50, they just screwed up. They had lethal. Uh, the games tend to be very polarizing. Unlike some of these other low variance decks, it's so you're more likely to be able to outplay your like Delver or blue opponent or whereas these even if the matchup is 50-50, the games are not. Like either they lose real quickly or they win real quickly and there's like really no in between. So for me, I would rather avoid that personally. Now, if you feel like you cannot outplay your opponent, then that's probably better for you. Right. Yeah, and even then, like, there's literally no actions for us to do. Like, we had even the counter, but then they just had the perfect curve, right? Um, I don't. Now I'm like trying to think what I should do because I don't think there's an out, but like they have a mince, and we have like nothing we can do here. Uh, I I'm gonna play for the heck of it, but like don't get me wrong, there's definitely decisions to be made on their end. It just feels like on our end is like kind of out of control, our control. So let me make that clear. Like, and their decisions argue are you can argue are probably more punishing because the mistakes are more amplified. But from our end, because we don't have force or just like random stuff, like there's just no out to this card, right? From our end. Well, let me rephrase that. There's no out to transfer backed by pressure. But maybe you can make the case this is no different than turn one Doomsday with force backup, right? And even that, our deck just uniquely is able to deal with that, but a lot of other decks cannot beat, those Reanimator or Doomsday nut draws. Yeah, I mean it wouldn't be. It just so happens like they have the perfect curve, right? Like turn one Trinisphere into threat, threat, threat. Like that's a dream, right? For a Stompy deck. Like turn one lock piece and then threat, 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 and then um because they're secretly a combo deck if you think about it. Their combo is just inverted. Like it's just their combo is pay off every turn, and they were able to execute their combo against us. Part of me wants to just concede because our opponent seems to be having trouble finding the line. I don't think they're gonna not find it, so it's just wasting time on maybe both sides for me to not have conceded yet. They are for sure. Their combo is just not your traditional combo, right? Their combo is more turn based than everything on the single turn. Like their combo is just a threat every turn, right? Yeah, our tracks is dead. We don't have a way to go over the top. I just don't think we can beat this, but let's just concede. I don't see an out to be honest. They're probably trying to think what we could possibly have, and we're just gonna save everybody the time. Oops, I thought I conceded, but maybe I didn't. Okay, there you go. It just took a while. Now we know what they're on. I don't think that really changes how we play. I don't think we need Hoof to beat them, but like Atraxa should be enough, unless we get into that situation. But if we get into that situation, we're gonna lose anyways. Yeah, I think the only way would be Trinisphere backed by Disruption. Sorry, backed by Threat is with something like Elvish Spirit Guide. Also, this stream is really for learning purposes. I don't think we really lose. We I don't I don't think we really lose anything by. Sorry, I don't think we gain anything by playing that out. Even if our opponent throws the game, right? Like we would have won because they like screwed up somehow, and I think on that board state it's probably unlikely. Like it's like a top deck war. I think for purpose of our stream, I think we would rather use the time more efficiently. Not to mention, we're probably just no matter how much our opponent theoretically could screw it up, I think we're still losing. So the question here is like, is there any reason to not get the snuff out here? I think we still do. They can like turn one Munas, but like I think in case they have Rabble Master, I want to be able to kill Rabble Master on time. Not to mention it changes our line if we draw Cradle. Actually, maybe I should have got it because a Cradle I don't think actually changes the line here. But a fetch land does for what it's worth. So there's the Magus. Do we just like knock this out right now? I think so. So a little bit punished for taking my line, right? They have the removal there, and we're probably out of luck here. No, I think we want to Stone Rain our opponent. There's a chance they don't get to play Magic. Um, do I get a Reclaimer here? No. Ooh, nice. That's kind of what I needed. Fury is very scary here. They have it. Sure. Now there's no reason to kill the Magus. And we know, actually, they screwed up. We know the last card in their hand now. They can attack, but that's not going to matter. Interesting. We'll definitely do that. The question here is, do we Green Sun? Or do we just let Grist start ticking up? Yeah, I was thinking about that. It's Grist or Artisan. I'm debating it. Artisan can get Grist and then still slowly take over the game, but there's an argument to be made that Grist is gonna take over the game anyways. Let's just take Artisan. It's probably well, Fury's not gonna. Fury's not gonna come down yet, but it could. We're just gonna keep ticking up. They can attack. I don't think we care. There's an argument to be made to attack with a noble so we can hold back 2 insect tokens. There's no need to do either right now. If we pause, we can make them think we have endurance too. That's like one nice thing. Uh, Exalted is broken in situations like this. Like we're gonna win the race as of right now. Ooh, wish I didn't pitch in natural order, but c'est la vie, right? If they attack, we're snap blocking. This is so funny. The Exalted has just taken over the game, all right? In these board stalls. Also, the Once Upon a Time was clutch finding the basic force. We probably screwed up in hindsight, not fetching the forest there because we would not have been able to capitalize off the extra swamp anyways based on the hand, right? Again, I didn't plan ahead in hindsight. Question here is like, do I attack 4 or do I just bash for 1? I think it's safer to bash for 1. There's a question to be had here. Do we play the Fiend Artisan or not? I can hold it for force. We have lethal next turn for what it's worth. Actually, let's just play it. I think it's gonna be hard for them to deal with Artisan and everything else because we can just like kill our own creature to grow Artisan out of like Pyroclasm, or if they even have that range. I think you live with the top deck being the issue. Renatus Vampirus. Sure. All right. Yeah, now it's over. Oh, I should have pitched the thing. It's okay. I messed up. Yeah. Just playing my food, I guess. Yeah, I was gonna alter. I should have pitched a creature, but didn't do that. All right, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick, and I'll be right back. Yeah, I actually thought of you, Matt. One of the suggestions from Matt is punishing waterfalls. Is on the YouTube videos, nobody can ever see the cards. So I made a conscientious effort tonight to make them bigger. It was a request of Matt, and it was also a request of both my buddies, your Aaron Relentless as well. So we're 1-0. I think the last two games kind of show what I meant by this kind of stomping matchup where um, technically, last two games we won one, lost one, so 50%. But neither game were really ever close, and it just feels like everything's decided on the opening hand, right? And um, there is more agency on our opponent's side than on our side. It's just like we're at the whims of their nut draws, right? I think this is a keep. We don't know what they're on. It says Jeskai control. This hand actually against Jeskai control is kind of bad. Bog doesn't do anything and endurance doesn't do anything. But for the purposes of learning, I think I'm just gonna. Also, it's just better practice in my opinion to. Oof. I think we take the oof actually because uh, we already have an endurance. It just like makes a more well-rounded hand. I don't really like doing that, but maybe we steal a game because they're on like some random thing. Uh, ooh, spell snare. Okay, I haven't seen that card in a while. I'm already shook. I not. I did not have that in my bingo card today. Having to play around spell snare. It is what it is. The other reason besides playing around days here was to get extra value out of our high fetch density. We already drew one, right? Or equivalent, I guess. Um, I think we're just gonna play this and go. That's bad in this matchup. Uh, we're gonna hold. We're gonna waste their mana. The reason why I cut duress was I thought we could do better, and I think that is correct because if you look at the sideboard optimizer that I posted today, the numbers for it are not actually that great for duress. Even if there's extra copies of the other reason why I cut it too was because I wanted to play the mesmeric fiend, and I just feel like we start to open ourselves up to Leyline of Sanctity, which if Matt is still in the chat here, he has had many experiences beating me with that card. Like out of Oops All Spells specifically. It literally shuts off every relevant card. Outside of Collector Oof, I guess. Or Fairy Macabre, that's the other one. Before the deck got banned by Scam. Is it really banned? I mean, I don't know the matchup profiles, but I guess I'm not surprised if that's accurate. Alright, let's get this off the table. I don't want to have to play scared. Uh, there's no reason to bog right now, I think. Days, Force, Grief, and Voidwalk, the worst of everything. Ah, makes sense. Makes sense. It is, but at the same time, I've been it like multiple times. Like once you know about it, it's like there's ways to play around it. Like, don't get me wrong, it's definitely annoying. I won't dispute that, but it's more annoying than good, I think. It's like okay. Like I'd rather not see it, obviously, but I don't think you auto lose if they have stifle. Sure. We gotta. That's actually a good thing for us. We gotta draw their swords with. What is gonna happen here? I think we do it now. I think our line is just actually sure. I thought about like do casting the endurance there, but if they sanctuary for it, that could be a problem. Actually, in hindsight, maybe I should have gone for it and just hope that they can't deal with our board, right? We're just gonna try to aggro them out. I think the Scamander matchup is tough but winnable. Interesting. I actually think the Scamander matchup is like kind of easy, but that's me. They have like a million cards. I think we're on the like not playing around the terminus or sweeper plan now. They have it. They have it. I don't think we're gonna beat a sweeper from this board state because they have like a zillion cards. We just have to hope that their cards are um, they're all spot removal or permission. I don't think we're beating a sweeper regardless. So we're just gonna go all in. That's a good sign because that means they don't have the sweeper. Otherwise, they don't force. Right, Duke, as Duke mentioned. Our plan is like we're not gonna beat a sweeper, so we're just all in on the aggro plan, and just hope they don't have it. I think on average our hand lines up very well against them. Sometimes they can beat our hand with like Entomb, Reanimate, Force Backup, but like that's like their high end hand, and I think if they have it, they have it. You can't beat everything. I think our the average hand beats their average hand. I mean, we're on the attack all regardless. What the heck is going? Oh my god. Ooh, that is very bad. They're probably gonna block the arbor too. Jeez. Okay. I don't think we're winning from here. Is there a reason to play the fetch land? Probably not. It deck thins, but I think the information is like more valuable. We're probably just dead, to be honest. That is like the one of the worst things we could see right now, aside from a sweeper. That is one of the worst things we could see. Our game one is not configured to beat these kind of decks. For what it's worth. Sure. Like we have a lot of deck cards against them. Like Collect Oof, Endurance is pretty bad. Bog is bad. Like we drew kind of the wrong side of the we kind of drew the wrong side of our deck as well, but hopefully we can just take it post board. Like the thing is, like I can either configure our deck to beat combo game one or beat like these kind of control decks, and I think we're more likely to win a fair matchup than we are combo. So that's kind of the logic behind it. This probably gets, forced or hit with a. We don't think we can attack here. It might be time to pack it in. I think we're on the Hail Mary natural order plan now, from this point on, and it's getting grimmer and grimmer. I don't know why they sort. Like our opponent seems to not be playing the best in my opinion. They're killing targets that, in my opinion, don't really matter, like the collective oof, the endurance earlier. We just ran into a solitude here that we couldn't win, and we flooded out a little bit. I don't think this even gets us out of the woods here. For sure, job. I think that mostly applies game one too. Like because we have a lot of. The problem is like this is a non-endurance matchup. I think we're just gonna like put something scary to see what they have. Okay, interesting. They don't. I think I get an artisan here. I just don't think Gris is gonna win this. All right, now we're dead. Okay, this thing's like lagging up, unfortunately. All right, we're down a game. To be honest, that was kind of how I thought it would play out. Just too many endurances, too many collectives, too many bogs, drawn the wrong part of our deck game one. We're not configured to beat that game one, but I think it's not a lost cause. What do we hate here? I actually like everything decently. Oh, collective. There we go. That's the last cut. I don't love agent, but you can randomly cheese a game with it because of it. Also, it makes your opponent play scared. This is like a pretty awful hand. Because what can it do? Turn one. You can go turn one shepherd. They kill it. Then actually that's not the worst. Then turn one shepherd. Turn two artisan. The cradle is like awful though. Because the problem is like I can't even protect the artisan, right? Like I have to lead with a shepherd here because if I turn one seas, I can't. Well, I guess I can go shepherd turn two. Yeah, let's do that. It's like barely playable for science. And then we have to take the removal. Turn one. Yeah, yeah. So Job found the line that I'm interested in. It's awkward to lead with shepherd because ugh, They don't have swords. Now that helps. Uh, do I just take the Lorien revealed? Or just hope they whiff? I really hate dress down though, for whatever that's worth. I don't think. Well, if we get. Yeah, like historically speaking, me trying to mana screw them doesn't work out. I think we take the dress down. I'm trying not to like go for these cheese lines that have cost me other times on stream. That's not bad. I think what they're gonna. Oh, they didn't do what I thought they were gonna do. I thought they were gonna brainstorm, upkeep, Lorien revealed, and then plow. That's like very strange sorry, thing there. Interesting that they chose not to plow my reclaimer. They have a brainstorm. I feel like I try like Terminus or something. I'm not sure our hand can play around that. That could be a priest, so I better not attack. Sure. If we rotate the Cradle, we're telegraphing to our opponent our other card in hand is a Cradle, so I'm not going to do that. Not to mention, it like we could use this for like a big green sun later or something. We're just gonna try to chew through their removal. That is not the worst, given our current board state. What is it gonna hit? It can hit a Phenars and it can hit Gris. Can hit a Swarm. I think that's actually fine. I think it's better than like a random card, given that we're not constrained on mana. Sure. So we cleared both swords now. I think we take the fetch land. Sure. All right, we chewed through a lot already. We're gonna dig here for a relevant payoff. That's trash. What are the odds this kind of deck has a Snapcaster Mage? I feel low. We don't have another payoff here. A lair would be kind of nice. But we're just going to try to attack on a fast clock here. I mean, I'm not going to... I boarded out Bog anyways. If they Supreme here, we're screwed. Okay, I don't think that matters. We have Natural Order as our out. We have a couple other outs that are very good. Ashley, you shall receive. Is it lethal? It is not. I think we just won. That is a hell of a draw. We're gonna draw 6 here. All right. What else I think we're gonna grist for sure. I know, right? I think we're gonna grist for sure, and then what in addition to that? I think I want to save the other Cradle. We have lethal next turn. They're on a 1-turn clock. While playing around sweepers. Sure. Okay. That's annoying, but whatever. No blocks. We're gonna plus first and see what happens. Okay, that's not what I wanted to happen. We're pretty solidly ahead still. It's really annoying, but Reclaimer's probably good here. We can't gas for hoof. Hoof we mill to the grist. I'm just gonna try to continue to stress their removal. I don't think they're winning this game. No problem. Glad to see you here, David. We have to beat them the old school way, right? No cheat code. All right, it doesn't matter. We're just gonna like mill. We're gonna nickel and dime them. They're not gonna beat our board state, right? Like they can't deal with the grist, and if they do, they gotta deal with the artisan, right? All right. I don't think we make any changes. The weakest card is probably the agent and maybe steal game because they're sloppy. And if they're playing around it, we already win, right? Or we're already getting value from it. They shuffle. That's pretty good. I'm gonna lead with this because I want our opponent to kill that. I'm not thinking about late game hard cast attracted just yet. We're gonna play around the spell pierce first. Counter spell, plow, solitude, Saint Catherine. I think we take the plow, force the counter spell or the solitude. We can take the counter spell later too. I'm not even sure that's necessary. I think I take the swords here. They want to plow, that's fine with me, and they go down a card. They want to counter this, that's fine too. Maybe they counter it. If they counter it, then this is free, right? Sure. And now we're decently set up for following turns. For the Grist to potentially take over the game. Dress down or solitude? I don't think solitude actually matters here. I think we just take the dress down. So essentially, Thoughtseize the information allows us to just play around what they don't have the answer for. In this case, we're just gonna strand the removal. They're gonna put a Catherine now on top. So we have to be careful a little bit of instant speed draw. Um, we can deal with a Catherine. I think actually that card is good against us personally. I'm surprised they left it in. Catherine has actually been one of the most overrated cards that I've seen in terms of like people telling me, oh, it will hurt us our deck once it comes out on MTGO. I said I don't know. It looks like a Battle Skull to me, and then that kind of like proved true, right? I don't think it actually does anything, or more than a Battle Skull does. I'll put it that way. Um. Wow. Okay. The solitude could matter. If I take the hoof there, I'm going for the win this turn. Otherwise, I'm committing the Reclaimer to the board. Let's just take the hoof for strategic purposes. So it has to force out the lethal next turn. Actually, that was stupid of me. Actually, Catherine is 2 mana anyways, so they have to fetch, so that is actually okay. And we're setting up lethal next turn now. Sure. We're gonna try to make this lethal. If they have force, they have force. I think it's game. Sure. Actually, our opponent said, bruh. Better lucky than good. All right, that was yeah. The information in this matchup is just like huge, right? I against these control decks, especially the Jeskai variants without endurance, you're you're somewhat soft conceding game one, and it's nice that we were able to pull both post board games. Yeah, TS made it easy mode. I think the fourth Aerolingus would have been a problem if we had not top decked the Thoughtseize there. Our opponent definitely made the right decision there, right? Like they recognized the like I was skeptical of some of their decisions early on, but I think they adjusted well, right? They knew we were gonna pivot once we saw the solitude, and they pivoted accordingly as well. And that was just a very nice game to watch at the very end. Um, okay, this cold water is making me use the restroom, so I'm gonna use it again. Nice to see you, David. There's a lot of Davids here in the chat. Johnny really ba. That's like as good as you can ask for, right? All right, we're gonna feign being on Maverick. I saw a it's gonna be out, on Duke's. If you're still in the Twitch chat, it's gonna be on Duke's site, I think, in the coming days. But I saw a really cool take on Maverick by Harry of the Maverick community. Excuse me. And basically, he's playing the one stage one depths in a Maverick-esque build with Reclaimers and Night of Reliquary. It's somewhere in between Maverick and Green White Depths, namely taking the Maverick shell and just adding the Depths package with Reclaimer as your one drop of like that's higher power level. I like that because I think if you're a green deck, you can't really compete with the end game of something like a DNT or a Beans deck, right? I think you have to have a way to finish the game, and I think that's what traditional Maverick decks, in my opinion at least, tend to struggle with. I don't know what's going on here, but that doesn't feel right. Who the heck knows? Maybe they just want the temple. We're like miles ahead now. That cannot be right what our opponent just did. Yeah, there's no way that's correct. Unless they just wanted to waste our mana, but I highly doubt that's correct. They're a Daze deck though, and Stifle. I feel like they're on Stifle not, but I could be wrong. There's a chance they're like on a Murktide draw and they just want to waste our mana. So the question here is, like, do I lead with Shepherd? And I think I do, because I have the natural order follow-up. Okay, Shepherd. Yeah, that was my line, Renatus. I'm gonna do it again here, I think. They've exhausted all their forces already, so... The punish here is like swords into days, but I don't think I'm playing around that. If I get a Gris, I can deal with this. Is Atraxa better? They use one swords already. I'm just debating what I think is better here. Yeah, that's what I'm debating. Like Atraxa just gets blown out by swords. I feel like maybe the Gris is just better. Just like start ticking up every turn. This deck is like strangely popular at the moment, and I don't know why. Maybe just because they want to be pre-boarded against um, goblins. I don't know. It's like very strange to me, but it's like wildly popular at the moment. I think, considering it had not really put up any results as far as I know. Yeah, I don't want to just lose here too, like of one source to plowshares. So I'm gonna try to stress their removal. Not to mention this like generates value too on its own. Like I can deal with this eventually. Three. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So our opponent had a little bit of a misplay here. Very interesting, odd game. We know they're on Stifle. I don't think you play that main deck unless you're playing Stifle or not. And then we stall the Stifle anyways. Endurance does nothing in this matchup. So just Collector Oofs, Bog. They may have Endurance. I mean, sorry. They may have Earl, but I'm not even sure we're playing that kind of game. Mesmeric Fiend, probably not. I think this is a Snuff Out matchup for their combo. Pick Your Poison is probably really good too. It deals with their Flyer and their Stifle Knot. Scarab Swarm. Probably not, to be honest, because they have the Flyer and it doesn't really stop the. We don't need to kill the graveyard. It's like not. Yeah, probably not. Mesmeric Fiend. It no, it gets stopped by the thing too. I think we want to minimize the effect of the Hushbringer, the new Hushbringer. Agent is like somewhat interesting. The question is like, do we take Agent over something like a Bog, which may be relevant against Uro? I think we just leave it alone, just in case they like go after our lands or something. I think this is probably fine. Yeah, no. They could. I would doubt it, but maybe they could. Uh, Keep. I think we put the. I don't really like having Shepherd in the opening hand. It doesn't actually do anything by itself. Ugh, feels like we're gonna get stifled here. I think we take a land for sure. If they have it, they have it. Yep, they have it. Sure. We have to play it safe here. Sure. That is annoying. Oh my god. Jesus. We're on the combo plan now, I guess. Well, actually, we can't even, like. What the heck? Yeah, there's no out to that. I guess that's why you play this deck, but man. Alright, let's reevaluate. Um, Definitely does nothing. Does nothing. I don't think discard is how we're winning this matchup, but maybe I'm wrong. We have like answers. We just like I think we just assume our deck's gonna be better than theirs, right? Yeah, let's run it back. I think we're gonna dare them to high roll us twice. Sure. I think here we just play the creature. We're gonna save the mortuary in case we need to dig for a specific answer. Also, like, we're not looking for anything specific right now, anyways. Also, they may be incentivized to wasteland our bayou here, like I just said. Thank you for the sub, Oblivions. Sure. Very sure. Um. Yeah, if they wanna daze it, then they daze it. Not right. I don't think I want to see that right now. When we're short on mana. Yeah, I like thought about it for a second, but I was like, nah, I don't think so. Not when they're doing that. Feels like they have the thing. I'm gonna play around days here. They left 2 mana up. It could be like Stifle too. There's like so many things that I'm like scared of. I think you just wait a turn to play around the days here. I think they're waiting for us to go for it, and then they're trying to get us. Is my read. Maybe they stifle this. Sure. Now there's really no rush. That's annoying. Wow, okay. I definitely did not expect this. Okay. Now I cannot. That's awkward because now I can't cast a natural order. Maybe I should just gone for it then. That might have been a mistake on my behalf. Put on top of library. Yeah, maybe I got cute. I did not play around this. Like this not was not on my radar. It feels like they're holding some other stuff. I don't know. Let's see if they have it. Sure, Curtis. So they did have the force. Good to know. Sure. We get this for free, right? I think we're probably in okay shape. We still have a second arbor. That's probably what we're getting next to increase our clock. They don't have days based on my read right now. I think they probably boarded it out. And I don't think there's any waiting now. If they have a random endurance here, we're just gonna get super punished. What are the odds that they kept in an endurance against us? I feel low. We're gonna take the chance. Hmm. Interesting. The EE does. No, I think I'm gonna get Cradle. in case they top deck swords here. I want to turn on the I want to turn on the natural order through removal. We get punished if they draw swords or some kind of thing. Sure. They're hell bent now. It's stifle or bust for our opponent. Alright. That's game. The coast is clear. Don't misclick here. No. If they want to play that, then they want. There's ways to play around this if we know to expect it. I'm like I mentioned it in my Discord earlier. I'm not the type to overreact and try to play around a one of or two of. Like I don't like that kind of sideboarding because we're supposed to be a proactive deck, and I don't want reactive or cards that don't do anything in a matchup. So for instance, if they don't have EE, our collective, imagine drawing it's just it's a grizzly bear, right? We played some grinding matchups so far. It's been I don't even know when I started the stream, but yeah, there's also ways to hedge against it. Like if you know they could have it. I think I played pretty well that game three, so I'm pretty happy with that. That's them all. This is like quite good. We'll probably toss the noble back. Everything else is like solid. Like pretty happy with my play tonight. So far at least. We don't know what our opponent is on. I think in the dark, we'll just take an endurance because it's different. And we have like plenty of ramp anyways. There's an argument to be made that like we take the safer card, which is the dork, but I think endurance is like good enough, right? Now I kind of wish I took the dork. This is a non-endurance matchup. Well, it could be. We'll see. That's not bad. We're gonna try to stone rain our opponent out of the game here. Sure. There's no way they're attacking. Yeah. if we play the endurance, we can still leave the option to rotate for arbor. That'll get us to 5 creatures. Well, endurance is +2 though. It's a little bit awkward. I'm like off by 1 of what I want to do. I'm off by 1 of what I want to do. I think I'll just pass. Yeah, I think so too. Maybe you can get a fringe like block here. Also, it probably scares them if we just leave like a million mana open. We're somewhat punished for keeping the endurance. Like I said, there's an argument to be made. We should keep the dork. This is a huge blowout. Okay. I think it feels like the collective won the game. All right, we can take all this nasty stuff out. This is actually really good news for us because we're supposed to lose game 1 in this matchup. They probably just forgot, like, Renatus Vampires. Like, I know I've been there where I'm just, like, essentially blindly clicking through things because I'm tired, just not interested in focusing all my attention. Again, we're going to board out Hoof here because I don't think they can beat Atraxa. And if they want to keep in Chalice, be my guess. I don't think it's very good against us. Do we want any of the other stuff? Probably not. It definitely felt like the collective won that game. This is a turn 3 natural order. What are the odds that we can keep a hand with no disruption? I feel like probably not against the average Goblins player. Maybe they next level us and like keep a whatever hand, but this is like mostly all in on natural order. Ugh, this is like a lot worse. We do, yeah. All right. I think we just do that. Jesus, turn 1. That is not good. Actually, we're once first. It's gotta be the Reclaimer, I'd have to imagine. So I can block later. What should we seize here? Then we know. Well, if we seize, we know to snuff out the thing. And then they don't draw anything else relevant. That's probably good that we did that. Actually, let's kill this now to save that life. Sure. Why did they keep that in? The irony is, like I said, the irony here is the Atraxa maybe gets there here. I'm trying to see if there's an out, and I feel like probably not. Yeah. Oh. The chalice off the top was kind of brutal. I thought we were actually probably okay shape. Do we want to change anything because of that? Probably not, I think. They kept in chalice, but I just don't think that's not what this game is about. I think we go turn 1 C's, turn 2 C's again plus ramp. Like make sure we don't just like get high rolled. And then turn 3 Atraxa is the line. Wow. If we take the Chromox here, their hand just doesn't do anything. Well, they can chalice us, I guess. I think I take the Rabble Master. Yeah, I think I take the Rabble Master. They're like very far from casting this. So if they don't have a threat, I think I'm happy with that. Also, we could just ramp here. We're not guaranteed to... Let's just do this and like lock out their mana. I think it's safe. We're not guaranteed to hit a dork next turn anyways. Alright, we're all in on our tracks. Hopefully we can top deck. If they have Fury here, it's kind of bad, but... Oh wow, okay, they're doing that. They're gonna confluence us. There's one card I don't want to see right now. That is not it, but I don't mind that, I guess. They're hellbent, and we just gotta draw lands. Oh my god. What do we want here? I think it's actually Reclaimer. Because what are we naturally going to order into now? Not much. And then Reclaimer can grow. Sure. There's no reason to force there. Our draws have been just trash. I'm gonna grow Reclaimer here and pass. Also, they moon us, then I can adjust accordingly. Um, actually, for sure. Yeah, actually, I want to do this and dig for land. There's the land that I wanted. Put on top. So 4/4. I can get either a Reclaimer or I can get a Artisan. Artisan is a 4/4 instead of. Yeah, let's do that. And continue to get. Yeah, and I just realized I can just continue growing my Artisans. Yeah, okay. Whew. This was the insurance. I'm glad I drew it because it's kind of like having Force of Will late, right? I'm not really scared of what they can do. I'm just gonna grind this game out. Whew. We're like the maximum league here. All right, let's take a break. I guess I'm gonna use the restroom. Maybe we can do it. We played the maximum number of games so far. Um, I think we played fairly well so far. Definitely better than like the first round. I think I made a mistake. I don't remember what it was. That didn't get punished. My son is on the way home. So hopefully we can finish before then. Oh my god, we're playing again. Well, at least this is a fast matchup. I guess I got what I asked for, right? Uh, I know my opponent is likely on Storm. I'm gonna play as if I don't know what they're on though, for learning purposes. Yeah, I don't want to distort this league or taint this league, if that makes sense. Oops. So we're gonna pretend like we don't know what our opponent is on, even though they're likely on Storm, and for the learning purposes, right? And then we'll see if we can still win. Okay, they problem? I don't know what they're on. Also, the good thing is now with endurance in our deck, like that's just in the back of people's minds too. Like we could just have it naturally. It's like pseudo having force backup. It's why in a lot of force of will decks, like these hate bears like meddling mage, canonist are good because opponents play scared, and endurance to a certain extent allows us to do that now. Okay, I think they're on Mike Reed's deck. We're gonna tank a little bit just to like make our opponent nervous. I like to just like pause randomly if I remember. Okay. Oh my god, they're gonna echo us here. Yeesh, that is not good. Not good. Endurance doesn't stop this either because they entomb for it. The Storm matchup is better than it was before, but that's a pretty impressive opening hand for an opponent. This is the deck that our good friend of the stream, Mike Reed, Eureka 22422, played to a top 8 just last weekend. So we're probably in trouble. They sure. We don't get the 5-0, we don't get the 5-0. I'm pretty happy with our testing today. It also is somewhat of a disadvantage. Like I said, our opponent knows what we're on. Ugh, we're gonna get killed here. Jesus. They got the full blown combo, right? Like Echo LED with Bowmasters, all on turn one. I think we'll be better positioned sideboard, but this is not the kind of game you just live with, right? They have the turn one. And now we're gonna get Abyss every turn is the problem. I think in the interest of time, because we're not to play something else, and then chump block, and then we have to chump block twice. Yeah, it's not happening. Just so I can finish before my wife gets home. All right. I think we want Seize. I think we want Pick Your Poison to deal with Saga. I think Jailer's really good. Op Agent is also very good. Take out the Gris. Shepherd doesn't do anything. We can. This is a graveyard-based matchup. Like, how do we want to play this? How do I board before against Beseech? Looks like I take out the natural order package and just play deep, hard control. Leave the hoof in to go over the top, obviously. Okay, something doesn't add up right. The Endurance, they're gonna go to the graveyard. They have Entomb, but then they're unlikely. I think I could just potentially next level our opponent because they're unlikely to go for Guy's Will against us. It's like very dangerous for them to do that. I could just maybe keep in natural orders. Actually, maybe just do that. Keep in two natural orders. Everything else is lower to the ground. I'm just like winging it, to be honest. This is like pretty good. I would have liked it better if this was a non-tap land. I clicked it too quickly. I would keep this anyways, but just for reference. Dismember and feed the swarm. Ugh. So they have no payoff. They have Saga, which we'll see if they play that turn one. I think we take the Dismember and force our opponent to pay more life. This hand is like a little bit susceptible to the Saga though. Um, so whatever we play, they can kill. There's an argument to be made. We just run out the jailer and force our opponent to maybe play. The problem is like if we go reclaimer, and then what? Yeah, the problem is that they can just go off, right? Like, yeah, I'm like debating it. Yeah, we can do that. And then agents at instant speed, so that's like pretty relevant. Put it in the graveyard. Sure, we're happy to see that actually. We could collector oof here. Feels like jailer is safer, and they just ramp. Actually, if we do this, they don't have any mana. Yeah, I think so too. Well, they can make constructs for if that's worth. We can't attack here. I think we have the agent here. Thanks, Matt. Hopefully I get there. We'll see. It doesn't look great for me right now. Maybe I should have got the land. Well, it's okay. I somewhat regret not taking the land earlier, but it is what it is. So how do I know their hand? Okay. Beseech, feed, pedal, vault. And I think here I just take the Haywire Might. That's the only thing that matters. I think they had to feed the Swarm, right? It's kind of annoying. I think we're gonna lose this game. I could play something that I have to block at least one now. It's just what I want to block. The Jailer probably doesn't do anything. Thanks, Straz Daddy. How's it going? I think I'm a few turns away from winning anyways, so I'm just gonna chump block the Jailer. We need the Reclaimer to survive. Because, well, they could feed and then we can like hope maybe even double block, but we'll see. Sure. Did everybody? Hey, hey, Straz, how's it going? I should have played this and I forgot. Oh, that's costing me. A natural order off the top here would be nice. Not what I wanted to see. Do we just take this just in case? We'll go to 2. We'll take the Bowmasters because that's like relevant. They can't cast Beseech yet. We'll attack with Agent because we're not going to block with that. And then we're just going to chump with the others. Natural order off the top still wins here. Why do I keep drawing that card? Ugh. I'm gonna have to block here, so I might as well take the besiege actually. And hope they don't top deck an artifact. We have to get lucky here. It is very close. I think they have to attack. We're forced to block. If they have removal, they have removal. Just put them on a 1 turn clock. I don't think we can just sit back. Wow, okay. I did not think I was winning that game. Alright, for the 5-0, again. Yeah, do we want to change anything? They didn't go for the fast combo line there, they just boarded all kinds of removal. I don't think endurance is where we're at, but I could be wrong. Like, I don't think they're going to play into graveyard, but maybe I'm just assuming too much out of my opponent. Let's try it again. We're going to believe in the deck. I think we need a way to beat the Saga, and then that is like one way to do it. We also have Reclaim already, so it's a little bit redundant to keep all this graveyard hate. Obviously, you have to mix it up because if your opponent knows you don't bring Endurance, then they can exploit that. I did not want to draw that. I was going to fetch it out, but what can you do? I'm debating. They can cast the Bowmasters regardless, but I don't think that we actually care about the Bowmasters. Probably the LED. If we take the Ritual, they can't top deck Beseech. Yeah, I feel like we take the Bowmasters in case they top deck the LED. If they Rit here, then we... Yeah, I'm gonna take that and just... We gotta fade one turn. I don't want to think too long. Nice, okay. Because all of this does the same thing. The Ritual's a little bit scary because if they Ritual on Dark Bowmasters, I think there's no reason to attack. We just drew Natural Order. We're just gonna pass. There's no need to attack here. We have the trump card in our hand. They pass its game. This is nerve-wracking. My decision to keep the natural orders in paid off. Whew. Wow, that was close. We took the whole 15 games. But we got the 5-0. Alright, broken deck, right? Like I called. Alright, I think we used everything we got to get that 5-0. Like, every card was relevant. The Pick Your Poison, the Thoughtseize, the Opposition Agent, even the Force of Despair, the Snuff Outs. We pretty much used every part of the Buffalo, right? As they like to say. And we got the 5-0. So, pretty happy about that. Thank you for... Sorry I didn't acknowledge much earlier. Thank you for the raid again, Straz Daddy Mark. Also, Harry, good seeing you. I see the Punishing Fire emoji. And I don't think I would change anything right now. The list felt very good. Obviously, there's a few flex spots, but I was very happy with the list. I think the anti-combo cards really came in handy the last game. And we got lucky, obviously. We had to fade a couple draws from our opponent who had us under a lot of pressure from that saga. I almost want a third Pick Your Poison, but probably too much of... I don't really want to draw multiple of those. But yeah, let's go ahead and raid Alkaleth here. But nice 5-0 here. Thank you everyone for hanging out. Here's my socials again. And we got the 5-0, so that's pretty good. Deck is broken as I advertised. Granted, we had to take all 15 games.